Honorable Chair, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I stand before you today on a personal and collective privilege to state my views on the recently concluded 64th Palarong Pambansa held in our very own city. The first thing I would like to say is congratulations. As the host city, we managed to pull off the biggest annual sporting event in the country without any untoward incident or major mishap, except for one which I will address later. Congratulations to the Cebu City government and this august body. Thank you to our national officials, led by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., for gracing the opening ceremony with a message that emphasized the multifaceted importance of the Palarong Pambansa, highlighting it as a celebration of unity, camaraderie, and national pride. Thank you also to the men and women of the Department of Education and the Philippine Sports Commission and all volunteers who work tirelessly behind the scenes. The stakeholders whose financial and in-kind support help fund and promote the Palarong Pambansa. We also thank the Cebu media for its coverage, making the event transparent and accessible to a wider audience. And to the information technology team, you demonstrated Cebu City's capacity to incorporate modern technology into our hosting, reflecting a significant leap towards a modernized national sports festival. Thank you also to our health and safety personnel. Our infirmary or medical station at the Cebu City Sports Center is worthy of praise as an excellent facility. It has earned commendations from DepEd officials for being the first time in Palarong history that an infirmary also equipped with psychological counseling stations was built as a first responder station for athletes. We must thank renowned sports physician, Dr. Roel Dihanyo, and the Palarong Pambansang medical team for this initiative. And of course, our immense congratulations and gratitude goes to all athletes and their coaches, from the winning region, the National Capital Region, to our very own Central Visayas region, which placed a commendable 5th overall, and to all other regions. We also thank the families of our young athletes for their support and encouragement. Having said that, Mr. Chairman, let me now address a matter that many might regard as a spoiler, but which must be mentioned on record before this august body. We are committed to hosting a better Palarong in the future, and to achieve this, we must precisely identify where the gaps and errors lie. Hosting a major sports event like the Palarong Pambansa is no small feat. As I mentioned earlier, congratulations are in order for the months of meticulous planning and execution aimed at ensuring all aspects meet not just national but also international standards. However, the oval track, a centerpiece for track and field events, has become a source of embarrassment for the host city and the organizers. It has been discussed in the media and within the sports community. The media cannot be blamed for highlighting the critical error, which, according to a third-party technical evaluator, occurred in the marking of the lane lines, resulting in one lane being 1.5 meters short of the standard 400-meter distance, and other lanes having an average discrepancy of 0.88 meters. Indeed, an oversight in the placement of lane lines represent a significant error in a critical component of the games. As a result, 11 of the 13 athletic event records broken during the Palarong were not recognized, impacting 19 athletes from 5 regions. Yet, no one has come forward to apologize for the critical error. Why has no one taken ownership of this mistake and apologized? If we give credit where credit is due, shouldn't we also ask where the buck stops when responsibility and accountability are sought? As an athlete myself, having participated in numerous marathons and Ironman competitions, I share a deep connection with the dedication and spirit of our competitors. With a heart that beats passionately for our community, I am genuinely disheartened by the oversight that led to the non-recognition of the record-breaking performance at this Palarong Pambansa. Thus, in my personal capacity, and I stress, this is a sentiment expressed strictly as an individual, not as a representative of our city. I extend a heartfelt apology to all the athletes and their coaches affected by this situation. It is a gesture of empathy and acknowledgement that regrettably has been absent until now, and one that I believe is rightly owed to them. Yet, Mr. Chair, who should bear responsibility for the inaccurate lane markings at the Cebu City Sports Complex Oval, which resulted in the nullification of 11 Palaro athletics records? What is the responsibility of the local government unit, if any, and the contractor? We must get to the bottom of these questions, Mr. Chairman, not only to alleviate our embarrassment, but also to help ensure future Palaros avoid the same fiasco. While we await further inquiry, the facts are clear. The rehabilitation of the track oval was under the control and supervision of the Cebu City government, and the bidding process, including the awarding to contractor SBD Builders, was managed by the city. Further delving into the law governing the Palarong Pambansa, Mr. Chairman, we find relevant this provision in Rule 3, Section 14 of the Implementing Rules and Guidelines of the Republic Act Number 10588, or the Palarong Pambansa Act of 2013. Playing venues. The prospective host should have sports facilities which conform to international standards. The sports facilities need not be complete at the time the inspection, but the LGU should have the capability to completely build the required facilities 2 months before the scheduled Palarong Pambansa. I repeat, 2 months before the scheduled Palarong Pambansa. Additional considerations: the host LGU is capable and willing to shoulder the renovation, repairs, and upgrading of sports facilities, billeting areas, and other infrastructural requirements. Under the same law, the Philippine Sports Commission, in cooperation with the Philippine Olympics Committee and through the appropriate National Sports Association, shall make available its manpower and technical resources for the Palarong Pambansa and provide technical support in the formulation of specifications for equipment to be procured for the event. We were promised late last year that the target completion date for the renovation was February 2024. Despite delays in the bidding process, nearly a year after, the Cebu City Sports Center was closed on May 18, 2023 for renovation. In a news article dated June 13, 2024, John Pajes, chairman of the Cebu City Sports Commission, was quoted as saying, "We think the sports facilities are generally ready, although there are still areas that need improvement. Based on their assessment from their weekly meetings with contractors to hold them accountable and ensure promises were met through actual ocular inspection of the sports center's rehabilitation." On June 21, 2024, it was reported that the Sports Center Oval was 95% complete, with photos showing the rubberized track in place, but workers still preparing to draw the lane markings. Was this timeline with the track oval's critical lane marking still unfinished just weeks before the games commenced acceptable? Mr. Chair, I have noticed that every time the city would embark a citywide event or an internationally known event like the Sinulog and now the Palarong Pambansa, almost always we are so excited at the start, then the momentum becomes lethargic until it would reach to plateau level, then the momentum picks up again, but a month or even 2 weeks before the scheduled event. Mr. Chair, judging from the last 2 years of Sinulog preparation and now the hosting of Palarong Pambansa, I can almost deduce that this kind of mindset has already become part of our system. We have not learned our lessons. Should the lessons of the past would make us more learned and be more proficient in our future endeavor, can we possibly come up with a system to ensure effective and efficient monitoring of any events in the future? Mr. Chair, please take a look at the slide. Few days after the Palarong Pambansa, this is what some portion of the rubberized oval look like. This can be likened to a asphalt, mud of the SRP ground used for the Sinulog venue, which would stuck to the sole of the feet or slippers of the dancers because the curing time is not properly observed. Indeed, undue haste makes waste. Mr. Chair, the city's technical experts have a reasonable time frame to conduct thorough inspections and certify that the facilities met the required standards. Could the apparent rush to complete the oval track have restricted these experts' ability to effectively implement necessary corrections, leading to the oversight where the track was short by 1.5 meters? Nevertheless, Mr. Chairman, we deserve a pat on the back, as no less than President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. himself has acknowledged Cebu City for the success of its hosting of the Palarong Pambansa during his State of the Nation address. But we also need answers to those critical questions I posed earlier. The Palarong Pambansa 2024 is not just a learning opportunity for our city and future Palaro host. It is also a matter of justice for the athletes and their regions, ensuring that in future games, the records they would break are recognized without fail. We must uphold the integrity of the Palaro and respect the hard work of our athletes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to note my privileged speech.
Motion presented by Member De Los Santos, seconded by Member 𝒕𝒊𝒂𝒓𝒅. Motion is carried.
I have resolving clause, Mr. Chair. First, resolve to congratulate the host and organizers of the Palarong Pambansa, including public and private sectors, partners, and other stakeholders.
Motion presented by Member De Los Santos, seconded by Member Abellanosa. Discussion. Objection. Hearing none, the motion is carried.
Second resolving clause, Mr. Chair, to request the office of the mayor to provide this council of the result of his investigation.
Motion presented by Member De Los Santos, seconded by Member Abellanosa. Discussion. Objection. Hearing none, the motion is carried.
Third resolving, Mr. Chair, resolve to request the Budget Office and the City Treasurer Office to furnish the Council a copy of the final budget appropriations as well as the liquidation report to include the budget from any national agency for the said purpose if there is any. So moved, Mr. Chair.
Motion presented by Member De Los Santos, seconded by Member Abellanosa. Discussion. Objection. Hearing none, the motion is carried.
Resolved finally that the findings and recommendations be shared with relevant stakeholders, including the Department of Education and the Philippine Sports Commission, to improve future and event planning and execution.
Motion presented by Member De Los Santos, seconded by Member Abellanosa. Discussion. Objection. Hearing none, the motion is carried.
And lastly, to request the Secretary of the Sangguniang Panglungsod to distribute copies of this speech and its resolutions to the Mayor's Office, the Cebu City Sports Commission, the Department of Education, the Philippine Sports Commission, the contractors involved, and other concerned offices.
Motion presented by Member De Los Santos, seconded by Member Abellanosa. Discussion, objection, hearing none, the motion is carried.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Member De Los Santos.